So for the longest time, whenever I slowed down, my brain would scream at me that I was losing momentum, that I was being lazy, and that I was letting people down. But rest felt like failure, and I kept pushing through exhaustion until my body literally forced me to stop. But the thing that I figured out was that rest isn't the opposite of progress. It's actually what makes progress sustainable. And today I want to talk about how I shifted from treating rest as giving up to treating it as the most productive thing that I do. So, the first thing to talk about is you kind of have this push-pull dynamic going on. Well, I do anyway. And it's an internal battle between wanting to do lots and lots of things, but being physically and mentally exhausted. So I'll give you a great example is that yesterday I had to go on my son's school trip. And because I'm neurospicy and I have all of those other sensory things going on, we went to a zoo and we were outside for, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours and on our feet for almost all that time. And it was freezing cold. I mean, it was so cold. When I got home, it was like the cold was in my bones. But I was also like mentally exhausted from having to spend all that time around other people, which I find really hard, and that interaction. And so when I came home, there were things I wanted to do in the evening, work-wise. There was literally no way I could do them because I was physically and emotionally and mentally just wiped out. And so I had these ideas, they were still sitting there, but I wasn't able to actually implement them. And that can lead to frustration. And that's one of the things that I have felt, and I'm still feeling a little bit now, and it's one of the things I'm working on, because you have these ideas, but you don't have the energy to actually execute them. And then the danger of that is that it sort of seeps into a spiral of self-judgment. So you start thinking what's wrong with you, and you actually compound the problem. And I've done this, I'm very good at catching it now because I've been catching it for so long. But I still sometimes will spiral into what is wrong with me, why can't I cope, why don't I have the energy that other people have? And actually I don't know what energy other people have or what they're doing in their lives, so I can't really judge. So why do we actually, as a society in general, treat rest as a threat? And part of that is we have a cultural conditioning that productivity equals worthiness. So the more we output, the more worthy we are. I don't know where that came from or why we've developed that, but that is what seems to be a cultural conditioning. And there's a real fear that if we slow down even a little bit, that we're going to lose ground, we're going to get behind, we're not going to be achieving what we need to achieve. And also, there's something about responsibility to others. Now, in my human design, I'm not an expert in human design by any stretch of the imagination, but someone was teaching me about this because I've got the guilt element in it, which basically means I have responsibility. I feel responsibility to others. And that can lead to, when you rest, you feel like you're letting other people down. So then that actually triggers that element for me as well. So I feel like I'm responsible to other people. And if I'm resting, then I'm not giving other people what they need. So it can feel selfish. And there are lots of things kind of going on for me. So, and that you'll notice your brain will give you signals. And this is when we then think there's something wrong with us. So maybe our sleep quality goes down, we get unwell, we have mental fog. All of these things are happening. We think there's something wrong with us. Whereas actually it's just our body is telling us, you really do need to slow down because you haven't been resting enough and you really do need to rest. So one of the things that I kind of changed in my mindset was that rest isn't the opposite of momentum, because that's how it's felt in the past. If I rest, I'm going to lose momentum. But it's actually the foundation of sustainable momentum. So if I view it like that, then it kind of shifts things a little bit. And slowing down is moving forward when my body needs it. So because we think productivity and moving forward and that momentum is what's important, that when we rest, we think, well, we're not doing that. But if we can reframe it as, well, actually, when I slow down, I am moving forward because I'm allowing myself to continue what I'm doing, even when I don't feel great. And that is actually still forward movement. And for me, there's been a big difference shift because this time last year, I was really slipping into bad burnout. I didn't really want to be doing what I was doing. And I was getting this constant anxiety of, I've got to do all of these things, but not only do I not have any energy, I don't want to do them. And that was very different. So now what I'm feeling is, yes, I am feeling tired. It's the winter, it's grey, it's grim. It's been Christmas, which has been chaos. My son's been ill, I've been ill. And it's all added like chaos to the elements. So I'm still recovering from illness, from flu. It's like a long road back. And so when I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, well, okay, what's the difference now? Is now I'm going through intentional recovery. So I'm saying, okay, I love what I'm doing. I still want to continue doing it. I've got all these ideas. I still want to do those, but I'm actually putting what I teach into practice, and I'm allowing myself that intentional rest so that I can then come back stronger as my energy levels increase through the summer, because I will have more energy in that time of year. And I'm working at a lower capacity, which doesn't mean that I'm failing. It just means that I'm working with my real capacity. So when I'm full of energy, and I will say this, I am super productive. So I will get a lot done in a very short amount of time because my brain is able to just keep and fire stuff off really quickly. And so, yeah, I find when I'm like this, I find it frustrating. I'm more tired. I'm not getting as much done. But then I say, well, actually, do you know what? If I'm doing it at 60% capacity, I'm still getting stuff done. I'm just not, supercharged, which I don't have to be supercharged all the time. No human being can be like that. And so I'm allowing myself to, do a bit, take time out, have some rest, have some me time, and just do all of those things. So when you actually give yourself permission to rest, right, what happens sort of psychologically for you is that you don't lose everything you've built. Okay, so sometimes we think we're going to lose everything, but we don't. We're still maintaining things, and we're keeping that, and we're caring for ourselves. We don't just blow out and give everything up. And the people that you're around, that care about you, that are working with you, that are helping your life, that are family members, they don't just abandon you and walk away because you're tired and you need to rest, and you need to maybe not do as much over a short period of time. That's fine. And also, I've found that my vision doesn't disappear. So if I still want to do the things that I love, then when I'm resting, it allows space and time for the ideas and the vision to kind of percolate around and to generate more ideas almost. And I've found that as I've been resting more, I'm getting a clearer vision on how I'm moving forward, because I'm kind of just giving myself a bit more space as well. And then your body can actually recover. And that's what I'm allowing my body to do now. I know I'm still in recovery. And when I am fully recovered, that's when my true energy will return, and I will be able to then give my superpowers away. And what we start to do when we're giving ourselves permission to rest, and this very much, I felt this a lot, is there's a difference between when I'm resting, so it feels like relief. So I'm allowing myself that rest, so it feels really great, to when I shut down and collapse. So yesterday I was in a little bit of shutdown mode at the end of the day, because I'd had so much sensory input through the day, and I'd literally overloaded, and I needed a sensory shutdown. But it was a contained sensory shutdown, because I allowed myself to do it, and allowed myself to do it at the end of the day, and I had a really quiet evening, and I allowed myself good sleep and recovery time, and that's how I'm able to then continue. So how do you actually do this for yourself? How do you implement these changes for yourself? And the first thing is to adjust your expectations to match your real energy state. So we don't have an ideal self baseline, because this is the thing, is we create this ideal self in our minds, and we think this is how we need to be every day. And life doesn't work like that. There's going to be ups and downs in our energy levels, and it's about looking at our energy state on a day-to-day basis and working with that. And identifying what can temporarily pause, delay, or simplify. So are there things that actually you don't really need to do them right now? They can wait. For me, I'm actually really ahead on my planning. So I'm kind of allowing myself a bit more space, because I've got loads of stuff ready already. So I'm like, well, okay, I can do little bits here and there, but I don't need to really push myself. And I know that maybe when it gets to March, I might have to up my energy levels a little bit, but I'm thinking if I drip things in, then I'm going to maintain this being slightly ahead mindset, which is something that's new to me, because normally I'm kind of like running on emergency mode. So I've been working on getting myself ahead, and that's actually quite a nice place to be. And communicate openly with other people if you need to. So if you are prioritizing recovery so that you can be sustainable in your life, then tell the people around you, tell the people you're working with, tell the people you're friends with, tell your family, so people can understand what is going on for you, because most people are really understanding. And track your recovery metrics and not just your productivity metrics. Track your energy levels and track your health levels and track all of these things. Track your mood so that you can start to see what's happening for you internally. Track your body signals. Like what body signals do you send on a day-to-day basis, and start to track those. And then do things that will regulate your nervous system. So getting exposure to light is really important for me at this time of year, really struggling. And often in the UK, January and February can be quite cold but sunny. But we've not had that. We've had rain, 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 rain. And that can make it really, really hard to get through the winter months because it's cold, it's wet, it's grey, and exposure to sunlight is really, really low. So anytime there's sunlight, kind of get out there and appreciate it. And then bringing in things like body scans and having some micro rest breaks as well. And also I'm reducing, one of the things I've been doing is reducing my working hours. So rather than working flat out for the full day, I'm doing a few hours and then I'm allowing myself rest time because I know that I can't maintain 4 days at the moment. And that's just understanding that. So this is about you understanding what your energy levels are and how you can adjust them. So if you're in that place right now where you know you need to rest, but it feels impossible, I want you to try something. So for the next 2 weeks, your only goal is to do less and recover. Do less and recover more. And that's it, right? Just make those your 2 goals. And that is like the work that you need to do. So that is the forward momentum that you're making. And I'd love to hear how it goes. So drop a comment and let me know what you're going to give yourself permission to release. And if that resonated, remember to like and subscribe so you get my future videos. And I've also created a resource for you called the Rest Permission Framework. And you can download that in my school group called The Sacred Self. And I'll put the link in the description so you can join there. It's completely free to join. And I'd love to have you on the inside. Until then, I'll see you soon.